Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey. That's Rachel.
Nate Diaz.
This is Happy Nate Diaz Day. Actually, Happy Nathan Diaz Day, I think. Rachel?
Right, I saw a clip that Ariel posted on his Instagram that apparently he prefers to be called Nathan.
Even though his social media accounts say Nate, I'm pretty sure, right? Or do they not? And I'll just skip over that?
No, actually, and when Ariel teased this, it said like exclusive interview with Nate Diaz. So anyway, I don't know what that's about. I'm just going to tell you right up front, I didn't watch the entire interview. I have seen clips from, actually, I read what Kelsey wrote because he's seen most of the interview. I read what he wrote, and that's what I know about it. Let's talk about Nate Diaz.
Man.
How about Nate Diaz saying, you know what? I'm going to stay at welterweight. But who does he want to fight?
Lightweights. No, yeah, he's like, the lightweight division is dead. But yeah, these are the people I want to fight. I want to fight these lightweight contenders. But I want to fight them at welterweight. He's so like, I love watching him interviewed because you're like, especially like if I'm transcribing and then I'm like, what? Like, what is he saying? So I don't know what his deal is. Now, to be fair to Nathan Diaz, Conor McGregor, he did the same thing, right? He's fought guys at welterweight. He also fought Nate at welterweight, but he fought Cowboy Cerrone at a lightweight contender at welterweight. So he's done that kind of thing. So maybe Nate just wants that Conor preferential treatment.
Well, basically this, like you got like some heat, you got some shine, you got some clout, you got whatever it is. Well, then you kind of can get out there and kind of.
You can kind of throw your weight around a little bit. Just a little bit. Not too much. The UFC won't let you do it too much.
Yeah, the UFC does keep a tight hold on their crew there.
There's really, like, even though Nate Diaz didn't fight any in 2020, and only one, like,
right.
What he fought at UFC 244. He lost to Masvidal in that fight, controversial stoppage. But he hasn't fought a lot over the last few years. However, as a sports writer, I'll tell you, people are still very much interested in Nate Diaz as a human being and as a fighter. He's one of the biggest page view drivers, I think, in the business today. And so this was a big deal. He doesn't give a lot of interviews. This was his first interview, Ariel Helwani said, since 2019. I think if Ariel wasn't going to do it, they were going to come to Real Talk. I don't know.
Probably.
I just have to assume that. But seriously, I was excited to see him do the interview.
Yeah.
I want to see him back in the octagon.
Yeah, I want to see him less on camera or on interview cameras and more on octagon cameras. Like, that's what I see. I'm a fan, right? So I like all this talk. I like when people talk and they're like, but I also need fights. Now, fortunately, UFC keeps me busy with fights.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
Yeah.
So I got that, but I also, like, I need fights from, like, these named people who have some shine, right? Like, I need them. I got Conor finally in the octagon, right? It was a quick fight.
And then he got blowed up.
Speaking of Conor, what do you think about Dustin Poirier being called out by Nate Diaz?
Well, they've gone back and forth for a while now. They were supposed to fight a few years ago, but that fight ended up not happening. So I know that Nate wants and feels like he probably deserves a big fight against a top guy like Dustin Poirier. The fight was supposed to happen before. Dustin, it's great to be Dustin Poirier today, right? He went from randomly being called out by Conor McGregor for a charity sparring match in the middle of McGregor's tussle with Dana White over power, and to being sitting in the catbird seat, as some people like to say. Maybe my dad. Anyway, like sitting in if they said 50 years ago, sitting in that seat, and he can fight anybody he wants, right? Sounds like the UFC, according to Ariel Helwani as well, wants to put Conor McGregor in again with Dustin Poirier in an immediate rematch. But Dustin Poirier could also just as well is likely to fight Michael Chandler, the 3-time Bellator champion that came over to the UFC for the first time at UFC 257. Nate Diaz is a huge name in the sport, so I mean. Sounds like Dustin's got some great fight options, and I think that that's awesome.
Well, here's what I think. So regarding Dustin Poirier, in regards to Nate Diaz specifically, I interpreted his tweet. Also, can we say that apparently Dustin's at the level of celebrity? He doesn't have to tag people. He can just tweet things, and we all know what it's about.
Because of that hot sauce, I think.
Because of the hot sauce. Where he said, that sounds like a great fight at my natural weight, like closer to my natural weight, I think is what he said, right? And I thought that was funny because I interpret that as like Dustin to Nate being like, right. weight. Like 170, like you're going to ask Dustin.
Actually, in the actual quote, he said he would even fight him at 190.
Who would even fight him at
Nate wants to fight people. He said something like 165, 170, 190, just not 155. Like he just, I don't like understand the logic, but I love it.
Yeah, maybe they could get a catch weight down closer to what Dustin is currently fighting at, since he seems pretty happy at that weight.
Well, he's the number one contender, and in his own mind, he's the champion now that Habib Nurmagomedov is retired.
Yeah, and it seems like he's retired.
And he is legit like the number one guy in the division, minus Habib. So yeah, I mean, I guess he gets to decide what he wants. He probably wants to stay at 155. I would think that too. You want to get that UFC gold. Now he's an former interim champ, but he's never had the undisputed title. So I think that he wants that. Put him in that fight. Whatever fight gets him that. Let's do that, and let's get Dustin Poirier the title, baby. He's a guy everybody gets behind, I think. The Diamond.
What do you mean by that?
Like, he's just like super likable.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? He's not polarizing. Conor's polarizing. People like love him and hate him.
Yeah.
I think Nate Diaz is too, because just as many people are like, why do people like this guy so much? But I haven't run into at least a bulk of people on the internet who are like, we hate Dustin Poirier. I don't think anybody hates Dustin Poirier.